What's going on, guys? Nate here with Kweku Arkorful. We are super stoked to have him tonight because it's one of those times where there's some interesting things going on in our world, and I think everybody needs a little bit of goodness. So one thing that we've been really blessed by is you guys paying attention and listening and watching these. And another thing that we've been blessed by is our sponsors. So a quick word from them. We'll be right back with you.
Stop by Super Fresh Kitchens in Cape Girardeau for super fresh salads, snacks, and more. Located on Kings Highway.
Kweku, what's going on, brother?
Man, living the dream. How are you?
We're all living the dream right now,
Living the
but
dream.
goodness gracious, it's a beautiful day. I know that the forecast said that we might have some rain, but I'm cool with talking about the weather.
Yeah, for sure. This is perfect, man. Got the birds out here chirping. Life is good.
It's gorgeous, man. It's gorgeous. Well, thank you for being with us. That's one thing that we always hope is that people find these things to be interesting and bring some value to some people. And so for you being here tonight, we like to kind of just start at the beginning. So where did you grow up, man?
Oh man, well, we starting okay.
I want to start from Little Kweku. Little Kweku.
Little Kweku. So Little Kweku was born in Ghana, Africa, and basically, just through all of that, and I tell this story so many times, it's just really different, from America, obviously, but just just the fact of just like people, the culture, everything is different. Things are a little more fast-paced here. Ghana, things are a little more slowed down. You'll have your fast pace in the cities, but like it's just cool to just be able to go to a place and just chill out for a minute. Wi-Fi or keeping up with the Joneses or Instagram and all of those things. So it was very peaceful. Started off, just living the dream as a kid, and my father was pretty wealthy, so we were good. And then, my father and my mother separated and split, and my mother went to London and got remarried. And then after that, things just started becoming a little bit hazy. So father ended up remarrying as well to my stepmother in Chicago. Okay. So we moved from Ghana, Africa to Chicago.
Wow.
Man.
How old again?
I was 9 years old. So moved with my two younger brothers, and then life was just unreal from then.
So let's back up a little bit to 9 years old and brothers. Older brothers, younger brothers?
Younger brothers.
Younger, both younger. Okay.
Yeah.
And are they in Ghana? Are they in the U.S. or somewhere else?
Yeah. So they're in Chicago now. Yeah.
They're in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is it cool if you say Chi-Town, or is that not?
Hey, that's
not
cool. Hey, if you want to do that, man, that's all good, bro. I give you permission.
Oh man.
Just don't say Chiraq.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
I'll never repeat it.
Got you. All right. Sounds good.
So we're 9 years old. We go to Chicago. Now, are you inner city, suburbs, or something?
Yeah. So we call it the Wild Hundreds, but it's right outside the skirts of the city. So like about 10-15 minutes away from the city. Probably not even that, but like so. Grew up there, and then had to move to a much tougher part, which was the South Side.
Okay.
Which we were struggling.
Really?
My stepmom was raising us by herself because my dad wasn't really around. He ended up staying more in Ghana than he did with us. And
okay.
So single mother raising us, having to work a lot to take care of us, and ended up moving into Stony Island, which is very, if you know Chicago, south side of Chicago and all that good stuff. So yeah, so it was tough. It was very tough, but
sounds like a strong woman.
Man, that's what I do it for.
Yeah.
So when I wake up and I'm making excuses, saying I can't do it or whatever, I just think about her.
Wow. Is she doing okay?
Oh man, she's awesome.
Good.
She's doing well.
Good. So you're 9 years old. You're in Chicago. You're probably 10 or 11 by now. It's moving out to the south side. And like, what's school look like? Well, I mean, if you can remember a 10-year-old day, what was that?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that sounds cool. I wasn't raised anywhere near Chicago.
Right. Yeah. So like, we went to school in the city, which was a tough part as well too on Alice. You know, what was the best thing that my mom could have done is she put us in charter school because it eased us into the process of getting acquainted to America and the culture shock. And so through that process, I learned a lot about myself. I was always trying to fit in. Didn't feel like, you know, I knew who I was. And if we would have went straight to public school, man, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thank my stepmother so much for doing that because I learned about the African American culture a lot as well too.
Oh, wow.
To just be able to see, you know, what they have gone through, because we don't learn about slavery, you know, in Africa, because that's not something we went through. But you know, to be able to hear about, you know, what the slavery and just all the things that, you know, African Americans went through. It was crazy. It was crazy.
And I can't imagine, but you're a rarity, and I know you know that, but most, you know, African American kids are born here, and they don't have the true African, you know, history that you do. So, I mean, I don't know a lot about Ghana. I know that you have told me that you still have a lot of connections and friends and family, and maybe a small business that you've helped some kids with. So tell me about Ghana.
Oh man, Ghana's home. You know,
Yeah.
It's a lot of places that are home, but it's really hard to explain. But it's just a place where I think you have it all if you really.
Wow.
You really want. Yeah. You
Slow down and appreciate.
Yeah, you have to slow down, appreciate. You have the fast pace places where you could go to East Legon, you could go to Accra and those types of cities, and enjoy that westernized, just American aspect. Buildings that are like this, of course. You know, we know people that pretty wealthy, so you know we have that aspect as well too, to have best of both worlds. But it's amazing. You definitely have to come and visit one day. Check it out.
I would love that, bro. Oh my goodness.
Oh, man. You got a place to stay.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
Thank you, Frankie. That would be amazing. And you know, one thing you said that I thought was interesting that I hope people listening kind of grab onto as well is that you said you got the best of both worlds. Like, yeah, you know, my family was able to be blessed with some, you know, better finances maybe than others. However, when you live in Ghana, I can imagine like you do get to see all of it. It's not like you avoid anything.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah. But the thing is that also is very drastic. You know, so like what I mean by that is you can be where you have it to where these people have it all, and then just down the street, you know, you could go where somebody may not be able to have electricity or water.
That's
so like
that's
the
what I'm
finances
curious in. Like,
Yeah.
I had a real privilege when I was about 16 years old to go to Romania, and I worked with some orphanages, and they called like the rich people gypsies because they thought that they just stole the money to become rich and have the big house, right? And I don't know at all how that correlates to Ghana, but it really impacted me at a young age to get out of America and go see something that is, I mean, genuinely how a lot of the world actually lives.
Right, exactly. And we're very, very, you know, fortunate here. So, you know, we don't really see that, but it is cool to get you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like I like getting that because in doses of it. Every year I have to travel somewhere.
Yeah.
Where it gets me outside of America. I have to get outside of a developed country.
Yeah.
Because I get very comfortable, and I don't like that because there's not a lot of growth in comfort.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of growth in being in that comfort zone. So for me, if I stay there, I'm not doing those daring risks. I'm not doing those things, those ideas. Every time I travel, every time I hop on a plane, every time I do something out of my comfort zone, ideas come. You know, things are just flowing where I could just be able to just do more.
When you say ideas, it also gets me to think about, let's cross here. Be safe, kids, look both ways.
Right, I did.
But,
I was just trusting.
but I think about inspiration. I think about when you have those ideas and how you can share them with others. I know one thing that's super important to you is health, but also more specifically fitness. So can you tell me about that? I mean, I again, you know, I'm like the worst dude ever because I never remember the name of your company. But
Yeah.
But can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah,
too?
yeah. So it's growing very slowly, but just always just had a knack to just help people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being in America is just with the foods that we eat and the lack of exercise that we actually. Because when I was in Ghana, okay, I was eating, but the foods were a lot more richer. You know, there weren't, you know, so much stuff that was injected, all that stuff into it, and to make the chicken bigger than what it's supposed to really be.
Oh my gosh, so true.
Yeah,
Well
so
said.
like it was just, you know, it was just different.
Yeah.
But just being here and when you're working out, and it may be just Midwestern, but I don't want to be the only person with my shirt off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, it's biblical for me. You know,
Okay.
and some people may not look at it that way, but if you are created in His image, you know, why do we abuse our bodies like that in that way? And it's just we talk about pornography, we talk about alcohol, we talk about all these other addictions, but man, when we can't put that fork down or that spoon or whatever it is, we don't talk about that. And gluttony is one of the ones that we neglect in the food and health aspect. So I just believe that if we take care of ourselves, if you take care of your body, then it will take care of you. And the thing is, when you're more fascinated about a house, a car, clothes, more than you are about, you know, a body that God created, you know, like, oh man, I can't wait to get that new phone, or I can't wait to get that new car. And it's like, you don't live in that phone, you don't live in that car, you don't live in that house. You, like, I can't go anywhere without this. You only get one.
Wow.
So why do we abuse that? I could go get another car, I could get more money, but we look at money and all these other things, this stature, and it's just, I just want to be able to debunk all these myths and these fallacies as far as what the world is feeding us, literally and figuratively, and be able to just show people the truth about that you can't do that. Let's change that habit. And it's a mindset. Like when I work out and it trains me to be able to get out, like I said, get out of my comfort zone. I take cold showers just to build my immune system. Like, do things opposite of what everybody else is doing. And that's a quote that I heard. It's like, if you follow the herd, you will get slaughtered. You know, it was just so many people that's just going to the slaughterhouse, just following the herd. And it's like, we need to get away from that.
I think sometimes it's sad because they don't know it.
Exactly.
Maybe unbeknownst to them, they're just not aware.
And somebody has to be there to
Yeah, so I mean, it's good to have spearheads like yourself that are willing to lead and walk the opposite direction when everyone in the pack is going that way.
Absolutely.
So tell me about what a typical day when you're gonna eat and you're gonna give your body good nutrients. What do you do? What do you like to choose?
Yeah, so for me, waking up in the morning, and this is what we've been doing now, I think everybody's taking care of their health now due to the pandemic and the crisis and everything that's going on. Obviously now health is wealth. You know, you see, this is something that's not just affecting the poor people, or it's not just affecting the black people or the white people. This thing sneak up and they get anybody, you know. So now everybody is, you know, just like, oh man, I gotta wash my hands, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But so for me personally, and I got really, and the reason why I was like, I really have to take this fitness thing serious, because I got comfortable and I got complacent and I started eating the fast foods and all this other stuff. But as of recently, what I started doing is I created a checklist for myself.
Okay. Daily
checklist, and it's not just a health or, you know, physical. It's more so holistic living. So I wake up, try to get up by 4:30, 5 a.m. Get in the Word, pray, meditate, and then that's when I drink my Organifi. I like Organifi. It's like a green juice and it tastes pretty good.
Okay.
Mix that up. Try to intermittent fast, because intermittent fasting is very, very good for your health.
Absolutely.
You know, and then around like, let's say 11 to noon, I start eating, and then try to end by like 7, 8 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And then do the same thing again. So my goal is to not eat 2 hours before I go to bed. And then of course you gotta drink a little warm water. So
yeah, which I'm glad you mentioned that, because I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted to back up to the green mixture that you drink. Do you drink that warm, or
absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So can you tell me and other people the process and the thought behind drinking warm liquids? I know in the past you said something about different cultures. That's pretty normal. I mean, you're not from here, bro.
Right. And I think a lot of people started like adopting, like a lot of other countries that would do it are starting to adopt the American lifestyle. But like warm water, when you look at those places like Asia and India, that what they do is, you know, they either drink soup or some type of tea with their food, which is pretty like room temperature, or warm water. And it's crazy because, you know, when we were sitting there, we were talking, it was like you asked it and I just gave like this analogy, which is so simple,
very quick,
but it's like it makes so much sense. And it's like if you wash your clothes, if you wash your the dishes, right, and there's some food stuck on it, would you wash it with cold water or warm water, or even hot water, right? You want to be able to get that thing off, right? So even in the dishwasher, same thing. The dishwasher doesn't wash with cold water, it washes with warm or hot water. So that's the best way to be able to get that food off. And that's the same thing, like treat it like your digestive system. It's like so much stuff is stuck, which creates, you know, really bad health, and things that's supposed to be moving are not moving. It's stuck. It's like, that's not good if things are blocked inside of your body when it's supposed to move and flow, you know. So warm water helps that flow go through. So